The gift from my ex. The letter that broke my marriage. I never thought a simple white envelope could destroy my life. Yet there it was, innocently perched against our front door when I came home from work on a crisp October evening. No return address. Just my name, Jason. Written in a delicate, familiar handwriting I hadn't seen in 7 years. And my wife had found it first. Care to explain this? Rachel stood in our kitchen, arms crossed, the envelope pinched between her fingers like something contaminated. The setting sun through our bay windows cast her in dramatic orange light, her shadow stretching long across our marble countertop. I have no idea what that is, I said truthfully, setting down my laptop bag. I reached for the envelope, but she pulled it back. Really? Because according to the note inside, it's from someone named Melissa. Your most precious love? Her words, not mine. My stomach dropped. Melissa, a name I'd purposely avoided saying out loud since marrying Rachel. It's not what you think, I said automatically, hearing how guilty the words sounded the moment they left my mouth. Oh, Rachel's eyebrow arched dangerously. So you're not the Jay she's been dreaming about for 7 years? The one she claims to have never stopped loving? Let me see it, I insisted, reaching again. I think you should leave, she whispered, her voice cracking. Just tonight. I need to think. You're kicking me out over a letter from someone I haven't spoken to in years? I'm asking for space because of how you looked when I said her name. Rachel's eyes were already red. Like you'd seen a ghost you're still in love with. I spent that night at David's place, my best friend since college who lived 15 minutes away. After listening to my desperate explanation and consuming 3 beers, he offered his professional opinion as a divorce attorney. So your psycho ex picked your 5th wedding anniversary to reconnect? That's not coincidental. Melissa wasn't psycho, I defended without thinking, then caught myself. I mean, see? That's exactly why Rachel's freaking out. David pointed his beer bottle at me. 7 years of radio silence, and you're still defending her. I stared at my phone. No texts from Rachel. What do I do? What did the letter actually say? Exactly. I don't know. Rachel wouldn't let me read it. David looked skeptical. You need to get that letter. I shook my head. Rachel would never. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel, we need to talk. Tomorrow morning. Don't come home tonight. I showed David the message. Well, he said, taking another swig. At least she's willing to talk. That's something. But it wasn't the message that worried me. It was the glimpse of our text history I'd seen. Our last exchange had been yesterday, me confirming I'd pick up the anniversary cake, her sending a heart emoji. 5 years of marriage vanishing because of one letter from the past. That night, unable to sleep on David's uncomfortable couch, memories of Melissa flooded back. We'd been together for 3 intense years in our early 20s, the kind of consuming, passionate relationship that burns too bright to last. Our breakup had been mutual but devastating. She'd moved to Europe for a job opportunity, and we'd agreed long distance wouldn't work. I met Rachel 8 months later. She was everything Melissa wasn't: stable, grounded, predictable. Where Melissa was wild impulse, Rachel was thoughtful planning. Where Melissa challenged everything, Rachel provided calm certainty. I loved Rachel differently, but completely, or so I'd thought. Yet here I was at 3 a.m., wondering what Melissa had written in that letter and why. After all this time, my heart still raced at the thought of her handwriting. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Jay, it's Melissa. Did you get my letter? I'm in town. We need to talk. It's important. I sat bolt upright, nearly dropping my phone. How did she have my number? What could be so important after 7 years of silence? Against every instinct of self-preservation, I typed back. What did your letter say? My wife found it. 3 dots appeared immediately. Oh God, I'm so sorry. It wasn't romantic, I swear. Please, can we meet? Tomorrow. It's about Hannah. Hannah. Another name I hadn't heard in years. Melissa's younger sister who had been like family to me. What about Hannah? I typed. She's dead, Jay. And there's something you need to know. I didn't sleep. By morning, I decided to tell Rachel everything. about Melissa's text, about Hannah. But when I arrived home at 7 a.m., Rachel was sitting at our dining table with a stranger. A tall, slender man in an expensive suit. "Jason, this is Detective Caldwell," Rachel said flatly. Her eyes were puffy. "Detective?" I looked between them. "What's going on?" "Mr. Rivers," the detective stood. "I'd like to ask you some questions about the whereabouts of Melissa Thorne." My mind raced. "I haven't seen Melissa in 7 years. "Really?" He slid a photo across the table. "Because airport security cameras show you meeting her at Logan International 3 days ago." The photo showed someone who looked remarkably like me embracing a blonde woman whose face was partially obscured. "That's not me," I said immediately. "I was at work. I have witnesses, security badge logs." "The man has your build, your haircut," Detective Caldwell continued. "And this woman appears to be Melissa Thorne, who's been missing for 24 hours after telling her hotel staff she was meeting an old flame named Jay." Rachel wouldn't look at me. "This is insane," I said. "I got a text from her last night. She wanted to meet today." Both Rachel and the detective looked startled. "Show me," the detective demanded. I pulled out my phone, opened my messages, and found nothing from the unknown number. All messages deleted. "I swear she texted me," I said desperately. "She said it was about her sister Hannah." "Hannah Thorne died 3 years ago," the detective said. "Car accident in Switzerland." The room began to spin. "I didn't know. Your wife showed me the letter, Mr. Rivers. Miss Thorne seemed convinced you two were about to reunite." "Let me see it," I demanded, turning to Rachel. "Please." Wordlessly, she handed me the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of lavender stationery, Melissa's signature color. I unfolded it with trembling hands. "My darling Jay, 7 years feels like 7 minutes when the heart remembers what the mind tries to forget. I've thought of you every day, wondering if you've been happy, if the life you chose has brought you the joy you deserve. I know showing up like this is unfair, but life has taught me that fairness is a luxury few can afford. I've kept my promise all these years, but circumstances have changed, and I can no longer bear this burden alone. Meet me where we first said, 'I love you,' tomorrow at sunset. Come alone. What I have to tell you will change everything, but you deserve to know the truth about what happened before we parted ways. You've always been my most precious love, even when loving you meant letting you go. Forever yours, Melissa." I looked up, stunned. "This doesn't sound like Melissa." "You haven't seen her in 7 years," Rachel said coldly. "People change." "No, I mean the phrasing, the purple paper, it's theatrical." Melissa was direct, practical. "Oh, you remember her quite well for someone from your distant past," Rachel snapped. The detective cut in. "Where did you and Miss Thorne first say, 'I love you'?" "That's where she wanted to meet." I tried to remember. "The botanical gardens, I think. By the Japanese maples." "We'll send officers there this evening," he said, standing. "In the meantime, don't leave town, Mr. Rivers." After he left, Rachel and I faced each other across our anniversary breakfast table, now a war zone of suspicion and hurt. "I've never lied to you," I said. "But you've hidden things," she countered. "Like how important she was to you." "She was my past. You're my present. And now she's missing, possibly in danger, and somehow you're involved." Rachel pushed away from the table. "I need time to process this." "It's our anniversary," I pleaded. 5 years. "Yes," she said sadly. "And all it took was one letter to show me how fragile these 5 years really were." After Rachel left for her sister's house, I sat alone in our kitchen, rereading Melissa's letter. Something felt off. The writing style, the melodrama, it didn't match the pragmatic woman I'd known. And that phrase, "my most precious love." Melissa had never been one for cliches. I called David. "The police think I'm involved in Melissa's disappearance," I explained after catching him up. "This is unbelievable," he said. "Do you need a criminal attorney? Because I can recommend." "I need to find Melissa," I interrupted. "Something's not right." "Whoa, hold up. The police are looking for her." You should stay as far away from this as possible. But a nagging feeling persisted. Melissa had texted about Hannah, a detail not mentioned in the letter. And if Hannah had died 3 years ago, why bring her up now? I have to go to the botanical gardens, I decided. That's where she wanted to meet. Are you insane? The police will be watching that place. Then I'll go early, before sunset. I was already grabbing my keys. Something about this doesn't add up. The botanical gardens were nearly empty on a Tuesday afternoon. I made my way to the Japanese maple section, where Melissa and I had indeed first exchanged I love yous after a ridiculous argument about whether plants had feelings. I sat on our old bench, memories washing over me. The gardens hadn't changed, but I had. 7 years ago, I was a different person. More reckless, more passionate, more willing to burn the world for love. Rachel had taught me the value of stability, of building something lasting. So why was I here, risking everything on a mystery that could destroy my marriage? I thought you might come early. I turned to find a woman standing behind me. For a moment, my heart stopped, but it wasn't Melissa. The woman was younger, with dark hair cut in a severe bob, wearing oversized sunglasses despite the cloudy day. Hannah, I whispered, impossible as it was. She smiled grimly and sat beside me. No, Hannah really is dead. Who are you? A friend of Melissa's. She removed her sunglasses, revealing sharp green eyes. My name is Claire. We don't have much time. Where's Melissa? The police think I'm involved in her disappearance. Melissa isn't missing, Claire said. She's hiding. From the same people who killed Hannah. My head spun. What people? What are you talking about? 7 years ago, Melissa didn't leave you for a job in Europe. She left because she witnessed something she shouldn't have, involving people powerful enough to make her disappear permanently. I stared at her. That's ridiculous. We broke up because she convinced you it was mutual, Claire interrupted. She was protecting you. She's been protecting you for 7 years by staying away. If that's true, why risk contacting me now? Claire reached into her bag and pulled out a small flash drive. Because Hannah found evidence before she died. Her car accident wasn't an accident. And now they know Melissa has this. Who are they? The Sentinel Group, a private security firm with government contracts and very dirty secrets. She pressed the flash drive into my hand. Hannah worked for them briefly. What she found got her killed. I looked at the tiny device. Why give this to me? I don't even know you. Because Melissa trusts you. And because your wife's brother works for them. The world stopped. What? Michael? He's an IT consultant. For the Sentinel Group, yes. Claire stood. Melissa didn't write that letter, Jason. Think about it. Purple stationery, dramatic declarations of love? That's not her style. Someone wanted your wife to find it, to create exactly what's happening now. Suspicion, police involvement, you looking guilty. But the text was really from her. She took a huge risk contacting you. Claire checked her watch. You need to decide quickly. That drive contains everything Hannah uncovered. If you believe me, meet Melissa tonight at the place where you actually first said, I love you. Not here. She'll find you. And if I don't believe you, Claire's face hardened. Then destroy that drive, go home to your wife, and pray they believe you know nothing. But I wouldn't count on it. She walked away, leaving me alone with an impossible choice and a flash drive that felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I sat in my car, the flash drive heavy in my pocket. Claire's story was absurd, government conspiracies, elaborate setups. Yet it would explain the inconsistencies. The letter that didn't sound like Melissa, the convenient photograph, the deleted texts. And Michael, Rachel's brother, had always been distant with me, claiming his work required discretion. What if? No, this was paranoia. I needed facts. I plugged the flash drive into my laptop. It contained a single video file labeled Proof. With shaking hands, I clicked play. The footage showed a hotel room. 2 men in suits discussed containment options for a leak situation. The audio was muffled, but one sentence came through clearly. River's wife is our access point. Her brother confirms he knows nothing. My blood ran cold as I recognized one of the men. Detective Caldwell. The video cut to a new scene, security footage from what appeared to be an office parking garage. A woman who resembled Hannah Thorne walked to her car, followed discreetly by a tall figure. As Hannah unlocked her door, the figure approached from behind. The footage ended abruptly. I sat back, mind racing. If this was real, I was in serious danger, and so was Melissa. But I still had one crucial question. Where had we actually first said, "I love you"? My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel. "Coming home soon. We need to talk." Another text immediately followed, from an unknown number. "The night of the blackout. You know where." And suddenly I did know. 7 years ago, Boston experienced its worst blackout in decades. Melissa and I had been trapped in the elevator of her apartment building for 6 hours. Terrified of small spaces, she'd had a panic attack, and I'd held her through it. Somewhere in those dark hours, whispering reassurances, the words had slipped out naturally, without planning. "I love you." When the power returned, we'd found ourselves at the basement level. The building superintendent had let us into the boiler room to warm up, as it was winter and the heating had just restarted. The basement boiler room of Melissa's old apartment building. That's where she'd be waiting. I checked the time. 4:30 p.m. Rachel would be home soon, and sunset was around 6:15. I had to make a choice. Go home and try to salvage my marriage, or follow this rabbit hole that could be an elaborate trap. The smart choice was obvious. Yet I found myself driving toward Melissa's old building in Brookline. The building hadn't changed. Same faded brick exterior, same cracked concrete steps. Using the service entrance code I somehow still remembered, I made my way to the basement. The boiler room door was unlocked. Heart pounding, I stepped inside. "I wasn't sure you'd figure it out." Melissa stood by the ancient boiler, 7 years older but instantly familiar. Her blonde hair was darker now, cut short, and her face had lost the roundness of youth. But her eyes, those piercing blue eyes, remained unchanged. "Melissa," I breathed. "We don't have much time," she said, maintaining her distance. "Did Claire give you the drive?" "Yes, I watched the video." "Then you understand what we're dealing with." "Not really," I admitted. "It seems impossible. Government conspiracies, your sister's murder, my wife's brother involved somehow." Melissa's expression softened. "I know how it sounds. I wouldn't have believed it either, until Hannah showed me what she'd found." "Which is what, exactly?" "Evidence of a domestic surveillance program targeting American citizens, journalists, activists, politicians. The Sentinel Group has been gathering blackmail material for years, selling it to the highest bidder. And Hannah discovered this? She was hired to strengthen their encryption. Instead, she created a backdoor and downloaded files proving what they were doing." Melissa stepped closer. "They discovered her breach 3 years ago, made it look like an accident in Switzerland. Why didn't you go to the authorities?" "The authorities are compromised. That detective who visited you? He's on their payroll." My head was spinning. "And Michael? Rachel's brother. Mid-level operative. He's been watching you for years, through Rachel." The implication hit me like a physical blow. "Are you saying Rachel is part of this? That our marriage is some kind of operation?" Melissa's face showed genuine pain. "I don't know how much she knows, Jason. I hope, for your sake, that she's innocent in all this." I leaned against the wall, suddenly unsteady. "This is insane." "I know." She finally closed the distance between us, her hand touching my arm cautiously. "I wouldn't have contacted you if I had any other choice, but they're closing in on me, and I needed someone I could trust with Hannah's evidence." Her touch was electric, familiar yet strange. 7 years collapsed into nothing. "What happens now?" I asked. "You need to decide," she said simply. "Go back to your life. Maybe Rachel isn't involved. Maybe you can convince them you know nothing. Or, come with me. Help me expose them. I have contacts, journalists, former intelligence officers who believe Hannah's evidence." Before I could respond, My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel. "Where are you? I'm worried." Melissa saw the message. "You should answer her. They'll be tracking your phone." I typed quickly, needed time to think. "David's again tonight." "You didn't tell her where you really are," Melissa observed. "No," I admitted. "I need to understand what's happening first." My phone immediately rang, Rachel calling. I showed Melissa, who nodded toward the door. "Go somewhere else to answer." I stepped into the hallway, accepting the call. "Hey, Jason." Rachel's voice sounded strange. Tight, controlled. "Please come home. We can work through this." "I just need some space tonight," I said. "This has been a lot to process." "I know about the flash drive," she said abruptly. My blood ran cold. "What?" "Michael told me everything. About Melissa, about her sister's delusions. She's not well, Jason. She's been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia." "That's not true," I said automatically, though doubt crept in. "The police found her hotel room," Rachel continued. "She has pictures of you everywhere, journals detailing imaginary conversations with you. She's been stalking you, creating elaborate conspiracies in her mind." "I don't believe you. Come home, and I'll show you the police report. Or call Detective Caldwell yourself." My mind raced. If Melissa was right, this was exactly how they would try to discredit her. But if Rachel was telling the truth, "I'll think about it," I said finally. "Jason, she's dangerous." Rachel's voice cracked. "Please. 5 years of marriage has to count for something against a woman you haven't seen in 7 years. After hanging up, I returned to the boiler room, my thoughts in chaos. "What did she say?" Melissa asked. I told her, watching her face carefully for any sign of deception. "Classic disinformation tactic," she said calmly. "Discredit the whistleblower. Make them sound unstable." "How do I know you're telling the truth?" I demanded. "How do I know that video wasn't staged?" "You don't," she admitted. "You have to trust your instincts." "My instincts are a mess right now." "Then look at the facts. The letter I supposedly wrote. Did it sound like me?" "No," I conceded. "The photograph of us at the airport? Were you there?" "No." "The texts from me that mysteriously disappeared from your phone?" I sighed. "Something strange is happening. I'll grant you that. But government conspiracies? Rachel being part of some operation?" Melissa's eyes softened. "Ask yourself this. When did you meet Rachel? How did it happen?" "At a coffee shop," I said automatically. 8 months after we broke up. Coincidence? Life is full of coincidences. "Is it?" She pulled out her phone, showing me a photo. "This was taken 3 weeks before you met Rachel." The photo showed Rachel and Michael at what appeared to be an office party. In the background, partially blurred but recognizable, was Detective Caldwell. My world tilted. "This doesn't prove anything." "Look at the banner," Melissa said quietly. I squinted at the image. Behind them hung a corporate banner, Sentinel Group Annual Retreat. The next hour passed in a blur as Melissa showed me more evidence. Documents, photos, connecting Rachel's brother to the security firm, linking Detective Caldwell to unexplained deaths of journalists who'd been investigating government surveillance. "Why me?" I finally asked. "I'm nobody. I design websites for small businesses. I have no access to sensitive information." "It's not about you," Melissa explained. "It's about Hannah. You were close to her. When she went underground, they worried she might have left evidence with you. But she didn't." "No, she left it with me. But they've been watching you all these years just in case, using Rachel as their eyes." The pieces fit together in a horrifying mosaic. Yet doubt still nagged at me. After 7 years with no contact, Melissa reappears with an incredible story precisely on my anniversary. "I need proof Rachel is involved," I said finally. "Something conclusive." Melissa nodded. "There's a way. The flash drive has more than that video. It has access codes to Sentinel's server. If Rachel's brother gave her access, we can find her profile in their system." "How?" "We need a secure computer. One not linked to you." She checked her watch. "We're out of time here. They'll have tracked your phone." As if on cue, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Boiler room compromised. East exit. Black sedan. Now, the next few hours were a surreal escape sequence. Claire driving us through back alleys of Boston, changing cars twice. A windowless tech workshop where a man Melissa called Santos accessed the flash drive through elaborate security protocols. And then, devastatingly, proof. Rachel's personnel file in the Sentinel database. Codename Honeybee. Mission parameters. Asset management and surveillance of Jason Rivers. Potential Hannah Thorne contact. A photo of Rachel receiving an envelope from Michael outside my office building. Dated just 3 days ago. And worst of all, a recording of Rachel's voice. The letter's in place. He'll find it tomorrow anniversary morning. Caldwell's standing by for the next phase. The room spun. 5 years of marriage. Every moment, every laugh, every intimate conversation. Had it all been surveillance? A job? I'm sorry, Melissa said softly. I hoped we were wrong about her. I couldn't speak. The betrayal was too immense, too complete. Santos looked up from his computer. They've flagged your accounts, Jason. Credit cards, phone, everything. And there's an APB out for both of you, armed and dangerous. We need to move, Claire said. The evidence package is ready to send to our journalist contacts. But we need to get somewhere safe first. Jason, Melissa touched my arm. Are you with us? I looked at her. The woman I'd loved and lost, now asking me to trust her with my life. Then I thought of Rachel, the woman I'd built a life with who'd apparently been lying every day for 5 years. I'm with you, I said finally. But I need to do something first. Against everyone's objections, I insisted on sending Rachel a message. Not from my compromised phone, but through Santos's secure channels. One final communication before I disappeared into whatever witness protection program Melissa's journalist contacts could arrange. Rachel, I know everything. Honeybee, the surveillance, the setup with the letter, all of it. Just tell me one thing. Was any of it real? Any moment in 5 years? I deserve that much truth. Jay. To my surprise, a reply came within minutes. Some of it was real. More than I planned for. That's why I tried to warn you today. They're going to eliminate you both tonight. Don't trust Melissa either. Check the passport in her bag. She's not who you think she is. I'm sorry. Goodbye, Jay. When Melissa went to the bathroom, I did something unforgivable. I searched her bag and found exactly what Rachel had warned about. A passport in the name of Christine Baxter with Melissa's photo, and another for Claire under a different name. When she returned, I confronted her. Who are you really? Her face changed almost imperceptibly. You contacted Rachel. She said you're not Melissa. The passport confirms it. For a moment, she looked genuinely sad. We all have cover identities, Jason. It's necessary in this work. What work, exactly? Because I'm starting to think I'm caught between two opposing intelligence operations, and I don't know which side is telling the truth. Does it matter? She asked. One side wants to use you. We want to help you disappear. Yes, it matters. Is your name even Melissa? She sighed deeply. Yes and no. Melissa Thorne did exist. She was my best friend. She did love you. She did die in Switzerland 3 years ago. The floor seemed to tilt beneath me. So everything you've told me is true, just not in the way you thought. Hannah was my code name. Melissa was my partner. We did uncover Sentinel's illegal operations. They did kill her. Her eyes filled with tears that looked remarkably genuine. I promised her I'd finish what we started, and that I'd make sure you were safe. By manipulating me, using my memories of someone I loved. By any means necessary, she admitted, including leveraging your emotional connection to Melissa. I'm not proud of it, but it worked. The betrayal felt fresh again, from a different direction. So Rachel was right. You created this elaborate conspiracy to, what? Use me as bait? Distract from something else. Rachel is Sentinel, she said firmly. Whatever she told you is manipulation. Yes, I used you, but they've been using you for 5 years. I didn't know what to believe anymore. Two women, both claiming the other was lying, both with evidence supporting their claims, both admitting to manipulating me. "I need air," I said, moving toward the door. "Jason, wait." I stepped outside into the cool night air, my mind racing. The safe house was on a quiet residential street in Somerville. Houses with warm lights, families inside living normal lives, unaware of the espionage drama unfolding nearby. My phone buzzed. Another secure message from Rachel. "GPS tracker in your watch. They're coming for you. Run now." I looked down at my anniversary gift from last year, the smartwatch Rachel had insisted on buying me. All this time, headlights appeared at the end of the street. Black SUVs, moving slowly, searchingly. I ran back inside. "They found us." "How?" Not Melissa demanded. I showed her the message, tore off my watch. "We need to go." She exchanged a look with Claire, some unspoken communication passing between them. "There's no time to move everyone," Claire said. "You two go. We'll create a diversion." "What kind of diversion?" I asked. "The kind that involves C4, Santos said grimly, pulling a package from a hidden compartment. "No," I protested. "You can't. This is what we do," Not Melissa said, grabbing my arm. "Garage now. Red Honda." As we ran, I heard Claire behind us, 30 seconds after they leave. "Target the lead vehicle only." We drove in tense silence, the sounds of an explosion erupting behind us just as we turned the corner. I couldn't process it all, the deception, the violence, the complete dismantling of everything I thought was true about my life. "Where are we going?" I finally asked. "Airport," she said tersely. "Private airfield in Bedford. Planes waiting. And then, somewhere safe. New identity. New life. With you." She glanced at me. "If that's what you want." The absurdity struck me suddenly, and I laughed. A hollow, desperate sound. "I don't even know who you are." "My real name is Natalie," she said quietly. "I was CIA before going private. Melissa was my partner, in all senses of the word." I stared at her. "You and Melissa were together?" "Yes." She kept her eyes on the road. "She talked about you often. Said you were the only man she ever truly loved. When she died, I promised I'd make sure you were safe from Sentinel." Another layer of complexity. Another truth I hadn't seen. So none of this was about me, I realized. I'm just collateral damage in a larger operation. "No," Natalie said firmly. "You became important to me because you were important to her. And because you're a genuinely good person who got caught in something terrible. How would you know if I'm good? You don't know me. I've been watching you for 3 years," she admitted. "Since Melissa died. Making sure you were safe." The revelation should have disturbed me, but I was beyond shock at this point. While Rachel was also watching me. My life has been a surveillance experiment. "I'm sorry," she said, and sounded like she meant it. We drove in silence for several minutes before my phone buzzed again. The last secure message I would ever receive from Rachel. "Storage Unit 247, Central Storage, Cambridge. Key code 7743. Everything you need to know is there. Whatever you decide, be careful. Some part of me did love you." I showed Natalie the message. "It's a trap," she said immediately. "Maybe," I agreed. "Or maybe it's the one honest thing she's ever told me." Our eyes met in the darkness of the car. "You want to go there instead of the airport," she stated, not a question. "I need to know the truth. All of it. Before I disappear forever." She sighed deeply. Against my better judgment, she made a sharp turn, heading toward Cambridge. Central Storage was deserted at 11 p.m. Using the key code, we accessed Unit 247, a small 5x5 space containing only a single item, a weathered hiking backpack. Inside, we found a laptop, a handwritten journal, and an envelope addressed to me. The journal was Rachel's, dating back 6 years. The first entry read, "Assignment, Jason Rivers. Surveillance and Asset Management. Duration, indefinite. Objective, monitor for contact from Hannah Thorne or associates. But as the entries progressed, something changed. 6 months in. Subject is kind, thoughtful. Nothing like the file suggested. No sign of criminal connections. Beginning to question mission parameters. And later, 2 years. Recommended termination of operation today. Request denied. Michael says asset still valuable as leverage. Feeling conflicted about developing genuine affection for subject. The final entry, dated just yesterday. They're moving to eliminate Jason. Can't let that happen. Contract or not, 5 years of marriage means something. He deserves better than this. Than me. Plan in motion. The letter explained everything. Rachel had indeed been recruited by Sentinel through her brother to monitor me. But over time, she'd grown to care for me genuinely. When she discovered their plan to eliminate me once I was no longer useful, she created an escape plan. The letter from Melissa that she herself had written and planted, knowing I'd investigate and eventually find my way to people who could help me disappear. She'd played both sides, creating a scenario where either Sentinel or Natalie's group would extract me before the kill order could be executed. The laptop contained one video file, security footage showing Rachel arguing fiercely with her brother and Detective Caldwell yesterday, clearly saying, "I won't let you hurt him," before being restrained and injected with something. The final piece was a USB drive labeled Simply Truth, containing files documenting Rachel's recruitment, her growing disillusionment, and the Sentinel Group's true nature. A rogue intelligence operation conducting illegal surveillance for profit and political leverage. "She was trying to save you," Natalie said softly. In her own complicated way. I felt hollow. By destroying our marriage? By making me think everything between us was a lie. "It was the only way you'd leave," she pointed out. "Would you have believed her if she'd simply told you the truth?" She was right. I would have dismissed Rachel's warnings as paranoia or worse. The elaborate deception was the only way to ensure I'd escape. "What happens to Rachel now?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Natalie shook her head grimly. "After that confrontation on video, it's not good. Sentinel doesn't tolerate dissent, especially from their own operatives." A cold realization washed over me. Despite everything, the thought of Rachel in danger twisted something deep inside me. 5 years of marriage, genuine or not, had left their mark. "We need to help her," I said. "That wasn't part of the plan," Natalie countered, though her expression suggested she'd anticipated my response. "The plane is waiting. New identities, new life. I can't leave her behind. Not after seeing this." I gestured at Rachel's journal. "She risked everything to save me." Natalie studied me for a long moment. "You still love her?" It wasn't a question, but I answered anyway. "I don't know what's real anymore, but I know I can't walk away." She sighed, checking her watch. "We have maybe 2 hours before Sentinel realizes we didn't die in that explosion. And that's a massive if we're going to attempt an extraction, we need to move now." "Where would they take her?" "Their primary facility is disguised as a data center in Waltham." Natalie pulled out her phone, sending a rapid series of encrypted messages. "I'm calling in everything I have." "But Jason," she fixed me with an intense stare. "You need to understand what you're asking. Best case scenario, we all escape and spend our lives looking over our shoulders. Worst case." "I know the risks," I interrupted. Her phone buzzed with responses. "Santos and Claire survived. They're mobilizing what's left of our network." She took a deep breath. "We have one shot at this." The next 6 hours were the most terrifying of my life. Natalie's team, a handful of former intelligence operatives with an impressive arsenal, orchestrated a precision strike on Sentinel's facility. Using Rachel's security credentials from the laptop, we gained access to the lower levels where, according to building schematics, they held problematic assets. We found Rachel in a medical room, drugged but conscious. When she saw me, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Jay, you're supposed to be gone," she whispered as I unstrapped her restraints. "I got your messages," I said, helping her stand. "All of them." Alarms blared as we made our escape, bullets flying as Sentinel's security forces converged. Claire took a shot to the shoulder. Santos covered our retreat with disturbing efficiency. Somehow, miraculously, we made it to the extraction vehicles. By dawn, we were aboard a cargo plane bound for a country Natalie wouldn't name. Rachel sat across from me, wrapped in a blanket, the sedative slowly wearing off. "Why did you come back?" she asked, her voice stronger now. "After what I did. Because some part of me still loved you too," I answered truthfully. "Even if I don't know who you really are." "I'm not sure I know either," she admitted. 5 years of pretending became something else. Something real. Natalie joined us, handing Rachel a bottle of water. The two women who had defined my past and present, now determining my future, regarded each other warily. "Your brother didn't make it," Natalie said without preamble. "He tried to stop the extraction." Rachel closed her eyes briefly. "Michael was lost to Sentinel long before today. The evidence packages have been delivered to our journalist contacts," Natalie continued. "By this time tomorrow, Sentinel will be front-page news worldwide." "And us?" I asked. "Small coastal town in Portugal. Safe house until the heat dies down. Then," she shrugged. "New identities, new beginnings." I looked between these two women, Natalie, who had pretended to be someone from my past to save me, and Rachel, who had pretended to love me then actually fallen in love. My life had been stripped of every certainty, every truth I thought I knew. "I don't know if I can trust either of you," I admitted. "Probably smart," Natalie said with a hint of respect. Rachel reached across the space between us, her fingers stopping just short of mine. "Trust is earned. If you'll give me the chance, I'd like to earn it back. For real this time." I didn't take her hand, not yet, but I didn't pull away either. As the plane carried us toward an uncertain future, I realized that the truth, like love, like trust, is rarely pure and never simple. My life had been shattered by a letter that wasn't really from my ex, revealing a marriage that had become real despite its false beginnings. Now I was flying toward a new life with two women who had both deceived and saved me. The gift from my ex wasn't Melissa's letter at all. It was this terrible, necessary awakening and perhaps, if I was very lucky, a chance to finally live a life that wasn't built on someone else's lies. The end.